Welcome to English Stories for Listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you genuinely want to be fluent in English.
Once upon a time in a small city in America, a boy sat on a cold bench. His name was Jack. He was only 14 years old. He had no mother. His father had died months ago. The night his father died was dark and rainy. Jack cried alone in an empty room. He touched his father's old coat. He felt a sharp pain in his heart. He promised his father, "I will take care of my family." Then he stood and walked into the night. Jack lived in a small house with his little sister, Sarah. Sarah was 10. She was gentle and quiet. Jack's father had taught Sarah to read. Sarah missed him. She looked at Jack with hope in her eyes. Jack felt a heavy weight on his shoulders. Jack's mother had died first. The funeral was cold. Jack wore a worn coat. He carried his sister. He watched the hearse go. He heard cries from neighbors. He felt his heart break. He held Sarah close. He promised her softly, "I will not let you be alone." That night, Jack could not sleep. He saw his mother in his dream. She stood by a grave. She pointed to a dark road. Jack woke with a scream. Jack walked to the graveyard at dawn. He saw his father's grave. He knelt. He placed a small flower. He said, "I will keep our family safe." He felt a light wind. He turned. He thought he saw someone. A man in a dark coat stood near a tombstone. Jack blinked. The man was gone. Jack's heart pounded. He asked the wind, "Who are you?" No one answered. Jack felt a strange presence at home. He heard whispers in empty halls. A cold wind blew through the broken window. He saw footprints in the dust. They led to the basement. He dared not go. He felt fear. But he had to be brave. He thought, "I must protect Sarah." He closed the door and locked it tight. Jack found work as a newspaper boy. He woke before sunrise. He carried a heavy bag. He ran through cold streets. He sold papers to people. He gave Sarah some money. He bought bread and milk. They shared a small meal. They ate in silence. Jack looked at Sarah. He felt pain in his chest. He wished for a hug. Sarah saw his tears. She held his hand. One day, Jack dropped all his papers. A man in a black suit bent down to help. He picked up the papers and handed them back. Jack saw scars on the man's hands. The man spoke in a low voice. "Be careful, boy. Darkness walks at night." Jack felt a chill. He looked at the man. The man smiled and walked away. Jack felt fear in his bones. He did not know why. One night, Jack found a strange letter in his coat pocket. The letter had no name. It had a key drawing. The paper was old and worn. Jack felt a chill. He opened the letter with care. It read, "Find the secret in the old factory at dawn. Trust no one." Jack felt fear. He asked himself, "Who left? This?" He looked around the empty street. He heard a faint whisper. He ran home. Jack hid the letter in his room. He did not tell Sarah. He sat on his bed. He felt his heart beat fast. He thought about the promise. He had to keep his promise. But this letter made him afraid. He could not sleep. He heard footsteps on the roof. He jumped up. He saw a shadow move. He whispered, "Who is there?" The shadow was gone. Jack decided to solve the mystery. He went to the old factory at dawn. He took Sarah's small lamp. He walked through broken doors. He saw old machines. They looked like ghosts. He heard his own breath. He stepped on loose boards. He followed the key drawing in his mind. He found a rusty door. He used the key drawing to find the lock. He opened it with a click. The door creaked. Inside, Jack saw a small room. It held a dusty box. He lifted the lid. Inside were old letters and money. The letters were from his father. They told a secret. His father had hidden money to help his family. He had worked at the factory. He saved money in that box. His father feared he might die young. He wanted to make sure Jack and Sarah were safe. Jack read each letter. He cried as he read. He felt his father's love. Jack carried the box home. He felt hope in his heart. He gave the box to Sarah. Sarah opened it. She gasped at the stack of bills. She cried tears of joy. Jack said, "We can pay rent. We can buy food." Sarah hugged Jack. She said, "You kept your promise." Jack cried too. He said, "I will always keep my promise." Days passed. Jack used the money to pay bills. He saved some for Sarah's school. He still worked as a paper boy. He slept less. He felt tired. He saw a girl named Emma on his route. Emma was kind. She asked Jack about school. Jack said, "I had no time." Emma smiled. She asked, "Do you like to learn?" Jack nodded. Emma gave Jack a small book. It was an English book. She said, "Read this at night." Jack thanked her. Jack won a small scholarship. A kind teacher offered him a place in a local high school. Jack thanked the teacher. He thought of Sarah's needs. He turned down the offer. He said, "I cannot go. I must work." The teacher looked at him with sorrow. Jack felt pain. He held his head high. He walked away. Jack used the book at night. He learned words. He wrote sentences. He taught Sarah too. Sarah learned fast. They practiced every night. Jack felt a new dream. He wanted to teach others. He wanted to share his book. He made copies with stolen paper. He walked to the park. He found other kids. He taught them simple words. They smiled. They thanked Jack. They called him Teacher Jack. A local reporter saw Jack teaching. The reporter wrote an article. It told Jack's story. It told how Jack cared for his sister. It told how he taught kids in the park. The article moved many people. A teacher named Mr. Brown read it. He came to the park. He offered Jack a job as an assistant. He said, "You have heart and soul. You can teach." Jack accepted. He worked at a small school. He learned more English. He studied at night. He taught kids during the day. He saved money. He paid for Sarah's college. Sarah grew up at a good school. She became a doctor. She helped the poor. Jack felt proud. One winter, the small school closed. The roof leaked. The walls were cold. The children had no place to learn. Jack felt despair. He sold his only coat to buy wood for the school. He begged an old carpenter for help. The carpenter gave him nails and wood scraps. Jack fixed the roof. He worked all night. The children came back. They smiled in the morning sun. Jack wiped his tears. He whispered, "We will never stop." Years later, Jack became a famous teacher. He taught thousands of students. He wrote a book about his journey. It became a bestseller. He used the money to start a charity. He helped homeless kids. He built a community center. He named it after his father. He always remembered his promise. One day, Jack stood at the center. He saw children laughing. He saw bright eyes. He felt a warm sun on his face. He thought of his father's coat. He touched his pocket. He felt a small key. It was the key from the old factory. He smiled. Jack spoke to the children. He said, "Never give up. You have a promise in your heart. Keep it." The children cheered. Jack held Sarah's hand. He said, "We did it." Sarah smiled. She said, "Yes, we did." Jack looked at the sky. He saw a cloud. It looked like his father. He whispered, "Thank you." Finally, Jack's charity built many centers. He saw joy in many faces. He felt his father's pride. He looked at his sister's family. They had children. Sarah named her first son after Jack. Jack held the baby. He felt love and sorrow. He whispered, "We did it." A promise can change a life and heal a soul. Share your promise with someone you care for. Now, start your journey. Life is a journey of promise. It brings sorrow and joy. It asks us to keep faith. It asks us to give love. It asks us to share hope. What promise will you keep in your heart?